What is up, everyone watching on the True Hill Heat Sports, YouTube, and Twitch? We are live here for True Hill Heat Sports number 5 MLB mid-season recap, where we have our first Major League Baseball video of the season, and we'll go through what's going on in the first half of the Major League Baseball season. We'll look at the All-Star break. We'll look going forward. We'll talk about um, Juan Soto, everything going on with that. We'll talk about the MLB draft, which was earlier today. It's still going on, as a matter of fact. And yeah, welcome everyone. Please like this video, share this video. If you see it on social media, comment. We are live. Be a part of the live chat. We'd love to hear from you as far as everything baseball related goes. I am True Hill Romeo. I am joined by two of my good brothers. First, you see him on the True Hill Heat Wrestling channel, talking everything New Japan Pro Wrestling, and here he is. He gets to talk a little sports now, a little Major League Baseball. What is up, J News?
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Your brother J News here. Baseball's another love of mine, folks. So get ready for all the meandering and all the antics that I usually do on my.
We are going to get into all of that.
Oh yeah.
Also joining us here, the artiste, the true draw, Josh. What is up, Josh? Making no mistake about it, letting you know where his allegiances lie, like me with my background. He's got the Yankee jersey on. What is up, Josh?
Not much. I'm doing good. It's pretty interesting. We have the two Mets fans who have like absolutely nothing showing for their part of their team.
We're incognito.
Exactly.
We're incognito this year, bro.
First shot fired, and the other Mets fan, of course, Chris G. What is up, good brother?
Yeah, let's go Yankees. I've been saying it all season, and it's been working for the Mets. So let's go Yankees.
Oh man.
Heard that. Excuse me while I share this video everywhere we can. Guys, let's first of all shout out to everyone in the chat. If you're with us, I see some viewers here. Drop a comment, let us know you're watching, and of course like the video if you haven't already. Let's just start here. What are your overall thoughts of the season so far, halfway through? I'll start with you, Chris.
I mean, pretty much to be expected. Besides, honestly, the Mets and the Yankees. I thought the Mets were going to be solid. I didn't think they were going to be an actually good team coming off of last year. And then the Yankees, I thought they were going to be solid. I didn't think they were going to be a great team coming off of this offseason. So both surprising there. But other than that, everything's about the same. Dodgers are good. Padres are in there. Giants are in there. Phillies and Braves are starting to heat up a little bit. And the AL East is starting to heat up a little bit, minus the Red Sox because they're terrible. That's about it. Everything feels right.
What do you think, J News? I'm gonna pull up these standings. Give me a second here.
Yeah. As for where the Mets and the Yankees are relatively in their divisions, yeah, the trauma that us Mets fans carry, we don't necessarily believe too much in being in first place this far into the season, but they've been better than expected. As a matter of fact, for me personally, I thought that the Yankees would be atop the AL East just because no one necessarily got any better in the AL East during the off season. Boston was a surprise the first couple of weeks in the season, but then they've tapered off. Tampa Bay is where they should be right now because Tampa Bay's Tampa Bay. The AL Central, a little bit confusing if I'm being honest. I didn't expect Minnesota to be anywhere near the top of that division. I expected the White Sox to run away with that division, and they haven't, which has been very, very surprising. And also as well, the West in the AL is pretty much the way I thought it would be. Seattle's another year better. Houston's just the cream of the crop, if you will, of that particular division. The NL Central, a little surprising for me that Milwaukee's still in first place. I would have given it to St. Louis if I was being honest, just because I thought having another year Nolan Arenado, the younger guys in the Cardinals system coming up, and adding to the lineup and the rotation, I thought that they were going to be a little bit better, but they're in second place. Pittsburgh is way better than I thought they were going to be. That's there, and the AL West is exactly where it should be. I think the Dodgers are going to be head heads and tails above everybody else as of right now. The Padres have faltered a lot, but that has more to do with injuries and team chemistry than anything else. San Francisco's still hanging in there, and the Rockies and the Diamondbacks suck, as we know. So
Yeah.
that's the way that it goes.
Josh, now we know this American League East very well, and there's a lot to say about it. First of all, I think it's the best division in baseball by far. Um, Shout out to the Orioles, a scrappy bunch. Look at these guys; they are by far the worst, the best last place team in the majors. Who would have thunk it? They are
They're hot.
500 going into the break, 46-46. Just a few games behind those Boston Red Sox. Boston, just a few games from the cellar. And Boston had some rough news today. Chris Sale fractured his finger on a comebacker from Aaron Hicks. Josh, what are your overall thoughts about the AL East? And are you surprised by how the Yankees are just running away with it? 13 games up on the Tampa Bay Rays. Tampa, Toronto, and Boston and Baltimore all pretty much grouped up, really. Toronto, I'd say disappointing start from Toronto, who expected was a favorite of a lot of people going into the season.
Yeah. So I've been surprised with that. I've been surprised with how much the Yankees have been running away with it, because I honestly thought the Yankees would be solid. As in how good they would be it's a lot more surprising than I expected, just because during their offseason they didn't really make a ton of big moves. I mean, obviously the biggest move they made was the trade with the Twins, and that was more so to get rid of Gary Sanchez.
Mhm.
So there wasn't really like a top move that they did. You know, they re-signed Rizzo after all like the Matt Olson, all the rumors that came about. So the way they've been playing, it's pretty surprising. Same thing with Toronto. I thought they were gonna be the top of the division, and they were kind of like staggering. So yeah, because they were pretty much the favorites out of the East. So with them struggling the way they've been struggling, even though I kind of expected it, just because they're a younger team. So you're gonna get those kind of teams where, when you stack up a team that's really young, it's gonna take some time to get them together. So I mean, when it comes to that, yeah, like and then and then Tampa Bay, same thing. They really didn't make any big moves. I think they're with how the league is going, with a lot of analytics, a lot of the stats when it comes to that. I think a lot of teams are getting better with that, and I think that's where Tampa Bay struggles with, because there were a team that were like they heavily use that. So now when a lot of teams are doing the same thing pretty much that they're doing, eventually catch up. Um, and then with Baltimore has been surprising. I thought I thought they're probably gonna get another draft pick next year, the top number one draft pick next year. But they've been surprising, especially as of late. And Boston, Boston, I kind of same thing with Boston. I expected them to digress just because of last year, right? If you actually see the season last year that they had, right, they were very similar to the Yankees. The only thing that stuck out for the Yankees more is because, right, for the Yankees, the kind of season they had last year was considered bad, but for the Red Sox, their season was considered good, and I think they finished with the same record. But with Boston, the big issues that they had is their bullpen. Starting pitching hasn't been great. Um, their offense, I mean, is pretty much still the same, but it's mostly been their pitching that's struggled. They've gotten
Big
back
time.
a few. Yeah, they've gotten back a few arms this past week for the bullpen. They had I think it was Whitlock they got back, and then Evaldi they got back, but then they get back Chris Sale, and then he's out again with a broken finger.
Oof. Crazy.
Like, so,
That was
I think
disgusting too.
yeah, so I think to me it just feels like Boston is definitely the clear team that's out of it in the East, at least to me.
The AL Central, Chris and Jay News. How do you think Javi Baez is liking it in Detroit this year? I hope he likes his paychecks.
What a strange signing.
Yeah,
What a strange signing. They weren't gonna fucking be any type of good this year, even with Javi Baez. I don't understand it.
Yeah, I don't. I mean,
it's
I didn't
it's
understand that at
yeah,
all.
it's
I
tough because Detroit's been bad for plenty of seasons now, and adding Javier Baez, they sent down Akil Badu at the beginning of the season. Now he's back up or whatever the case is after some injury stuff or whatever. He was like their, I don't know, their star last year because he was a Rule 5 draft pick or whatever that made it onto the team. But yeah, they weren't going to be any good. They haven't had good pitching in years. Detroit, the Cleveland Guardians being in second place in the Central is surprising to
The
me.
Guardians.
Yes.
The Guardians are
Yes.
surprising being
Yes.
in second place because it's like all they have is, well, at least from the overall perspective, all they have is J Ram, right? It's J Ram.
Well, they have former Mets legend Andres Jimenez
They do, and I'm
Also-
in Rosario too.
and
Oh.
Ahmed, who's actually having a decent season. But Jimenez is the starting second
Yeah.
baseman for the All-Star game, so
Yeah,
he's
man.
having a great year.
He's having a great year. The Cleveland's pitching has always been top notch, and it showed up this season so far, which is why they're even where they are in the division. Yeah, man. Like I said before, the White Sox are the most disappointing part about what's been going on in the Central. Just because
What is up with them?
they're a fun ass team to watch, but they've been injured the entire season. If it wasn't Eloy Jimenez here, Louis Bob was taking a couple of weeks off. The pitching hasn't been good or whatever. The dynamic of the team just hasn't been as a whole as it
The
had been.
manager,
Let's
Tony
not talk
La
about
Russa.
man. Leave that alone. For now, what was it? The Cuban kid, the third baseman, Yohan Moncada. He recently came back like about a month ago or whatever, and it's been taking him a minute just to reintegrate himself into the team. So it's really more, I think it's more of a chemistry thing and having the availability of the players to
But look
get
at
it.
this.
Yeah.
All
Yeah.
that underperforming, and they're 3 games back going into the break. That is,
The Central's that bad.
Yeah.
You know what it is
yeah.
too? But you know what it is too? Because I remember I spoke about this a while back. Is that the White Sox last year they ran away with the division. The biggest difference this year is that 2 of the teams in that division got better. Minnesota got better, and Cleveland Indians have been better than me. I said Indians.
The
See
who?
that? Look at that.
That's a name
The
I haven't heard in
Guardians.
years.
You just offended
The Guardians
somebody.
have gotten better with nobody expected them. So that's also a factor as well, that you had 2 other teams in the division who weren't good last year who are good this year. With all the struggles with the White Sox have been having, that's pretty much a factor as well.
Guys, let's talk about the AL West because there are 4 things in particular, 4 talking points. Nothing about the A's. Nobody cares about the A's. Nothing about the A's. We don't have to talk about them. But the other 4 teams, there's stuff to talk about. Let's start from the top. The Houston Astros are still a threat. The Yankees are not going to run away with this because whenever the Yankees and Astros play, it's like a war. It is like a war. And if they meet in the postseason, that is no given for the Yankees. That's no given for the Astros. That is going to be a lot of fun to see. The Astros are still legit. I don't know how they're cheating this year. They must come up with some kind of method that is hard to seek out for MLB right now. But the Astros are still a threat. The Mariners are on fire and fuego. They don't want to go to no all-star break right now. They've won 14 in a row. They've got the clear lead in the rookie of the year, Julio Rodriguez. Ty France has been amazing. They've gotten some solid pitching. 14 in a row. Let me look at their schedule for a second. How long can this streak go? Let's see here.
It can go for as long as everybody stays healthy. That's always the main objective, right? They got a bunch of kids on that lineup that hit very well. They play tremendous defense in that outfield. So those pitchers never have to worry about if a ball is going to drop, if it's going in the gap. Everything's getting caught out there in Seattle. So that's why
It's over.
Yeah,
it's over. They got Houston. Texas, they'll get back on a winning streak. They got Houston again. Then they got the Yankees, the Angels, and then the Yankees again. All right. Seattle's going to play some tough. 2 of the 2 best teams in the American League. They have 7, 8, 9, 10, 13 games against the 2 best teams in the league coming out of the All-Star break. They might lose all those games that they got on that winning streak. Oh, we know.
14 straight.
They might lose 13. And let's talk about the Texas Rangers, who spent all that money in the offseason to go. What is that record? Let's see it. Let's pull it up. 41-49 at the All-Star break. The Texas Rangers going to Texas Ranger.
I mean,
This is
that's
their
exactly their
MO.
formula. Though. That's their formula. They overpay for guys and they underperform. Like
That's what they get for paying for fucking 2 shortstops.
But hey,
back to back.
they're still better than the Los Angeles Angels,
Yes.
who have 2 of the best players in baseball. One who not only hits, he pitches too. Ohtani. They have Mike Trout. And this is the Angel story. 39, 53, 20 and a half games out. Absolutely horrific for having 2 of the best players in baseball.
I know why. It's 2 words. Noah Syndergaard.
Come on, man.
Oh,
He's
man.
Fat Thor. He's playing like Fat
Yeah.
Thor.
The Thunder's gone, bro. The Love and Thunder is gone. That's it.
Oh man, let's shift our attention to the National League, and let me give the Mets their flowers, because they are doing this all mostly without Max Scherzer, although he's back now.
He's back now.
Entirely without Jacob deGrom,
That's right.
who's who's coming back pretty soon. It sounds like.
Yeah.
Francisco Lindor has had a bounce back season after last year's terrible season. What more can you say about the Mets? Are you guys feeling excited because DeGrom, the cavalry is still coming? The Braves have been on fire since June. They're sneaking up on you now. They've been amazing. What do you think about the Braves Mets dynamic? Do you trust Jacob deGrom to stay healthy? Do you trust Max Scherzer to stay healthy? Chris?
Trust is a hard word. It's a tough word. Trust is a tough word when you're a Mets fan. Do I have faith in them? I could put a little faith in them, but am I gonna completely put my trust in them? I don't know. And either one of them. Well, with Max, I mean, I don't know. I can't really tell. He hasn't been a Met that long. But I mean, with DeGrom, I mean, it's been like every time he throws a pitch, your booty kind of tightens. Like you're like, fuck, man. I hope this guy, his arm's not falling off. So I'm just saying, like, it makes me pause. He makes me nervous. He makes me nervous. But I mean, these guys, I feel like there's an energy that comes back with DeGrom, right? It's like your boy is finally back. Like now it's time to go from here and take it to the next level. Which if they could keep doing what they're doing, they should be in good position come postseason.
Janius, what's your confidence level with the Mets right now going forward?
Confidence level. Listen, man, I do everything with cautious trepidation when it comes to politics. At this point in time, we're in first place. I'm not a really religious person, but we're in first place by the grace of God. So I'll take it for what it's worth. I think the brand of baseball is really what has the Mets as to where they are. A lot of grit, a lot of running the base paths, a lot of like old school baseball, man, hit and run, moving the runner over and stuff like that. They don't have too much power in the lineup outside of Pete Alonso and Francisco Lindor. But big props to Pete for racking in them RBIs, because I mean, it seemed like the RBI is a bygone stat in Major League Baseball for whatever reason. He's got 77 of those puppies, and Aaron Judge over there tanking everything known to Manny Yankee Stadium, and he's only got 70. So nobody's talking about Pete. Gotta give Pete his props. So for all that, with the DeGrom situation, man, it's like Chris said. Every time he throws a pitch, it's shaky, bro. Like, how you hitting 100 miles an hour, 5 pitches in a row, fam? Like,
why are you throwing all them sliders? Relax.
I was like, you got to get back.
Are you ever like, Jacob, you don't have to throw every pitch 100 miles an hour. Just scale it down, every now and then.
Exactly. Dial it back a bit or whatever. But that's been his forte ever since he's taken himself to that next level as a pitcher. He just goes balls to the wall all the time. That whole stress reaction thing in his lat and in his shoulder, I was like, man, if he doesn't get back to being the same, it's over. It's over. Mind you, he's opting out of his contract this year. There's been speculation that the Braves are going to be the front runners to try to sign him. Uncle Stevie got the money. I don't worry,
Yes.
I don't worry about that.
How much you want? How much you said you?
I don't worry about that anymore. Jacob, I feel like Jacob DeGrom will be back in the Mets uniform. But yeah, man, the injury concerns are valid, bro. Like I think as a team, just looking at it, I feel like we need another bat, honestly. Because Pete and Lindor can't do it by themselves. I understand that Starling Marte and guys like Jeff McNeil, they hit for average, but they don't drive in as many runs, so they're on base a lot. But Pete and Lindor can't do it by themselves, driving in all them runs. So I think they need another bat to solidify the lineup. And if Jacob DeGrom comes back healthy, I think that we have a good shot as any other team in Major League Baseball to make it all the way to the World Series. Because the Dodgers, they're streaky, man. Those bats go to sleep for long periods of time. So if we can catch the Dodgers at the right time, the Mets can be where they need to be.
Yeah, the trade deadline is going to be coming up, and it is of note. I think the Mets could use more bullpen help as well. Edwin Diaz has been amazing. Holy shit!
Finally.
Amazing.
Finally.
But Chris, who else do you trust in that pen?
Not much. Seth Lugo's fucking shaky.
Yeah.
Drew Smith started off great. He's shaky. The what's his name? Chase Holderman. He's actually been solid whenever he's out there. That's probably the only guy that's been like consistent up to this point, besides Diaz. This kid Medina has his days. Joely Rodriguez, he has his days. I mean, everybody's Ottavino's terrible.
The Yankee fans know.
Yeah, I could have told you that. Chase Shreve, I don't even know if he's fucking hurt or not.
They DFA'd him, Chris.
It's just like, I don't know, man.
He's off the team now. Chasing Shreve.
Look at that. I didn't even know. They were like, get him off the team. We got too many shitty arms, and you're the shittiest one out of all of them. So, yeah, I mean, the bullpen's a little rough. We can definitely use some help in there. I'm sure there's going to be guys that we can get in the trade deadline for the right price. Not too, mid-level prospect, not too high. But we're looking for a bat. Hey, I know a guy that might be on the trading block. I don't know if we're going to get him this or at least try to go for him this year. But I could see a guy.
We'll talk about that later.
Yeah. I could see a guy like. Well, we'll get into it. We're going to talk about the trade deadline. We'll get into it.
Josh, let's talk about a guy me and you know very well, who is no longer with the Philadelphia Phillies. They fired Joe Girardi. Josh, would you say that the Phillies maybe had a little too high expectations going into this season?
Yeah, I would say so. Just because of the improvement that the moves that the Mets made, they pretty much didn't really make any really big moves themselves. So I think that's part of it. I think usually the problem too with some of these teams, sometimes like the problem is that usually a lot of teams like this, they usually set their expectations too high to the point that the manager usually doesn't even have a chance. Because same thing happened in Toronto, all these high expectations, and their manager is gone already. So I think that's part of it. But I also think there was they haven't really said, but I wouldn't be surprised if there was friction in the locker room with Girardi. I wouldn't be surprised if there's some kind of thing that will come out that maybe some way he lost the locker room, just because I know like a day after or something when they won, I know Bryce Harper took a shot at that. He took a shot at Girardi, it seemed like. So that's part of it too. It wouldn't surprise me if that happened as well.
The Phillies went into the season saying, fuck defense, not really important. We'll get by, and it's not really working. Shout out to the Marlins, who are fun little young team to watch. They're doing respectable as far as what you expect out of the Marlins, and the Nationals are absolutely hot garbage trash. They're 1-9 in their last 10. Look at that run differential, -149. Is that the worst in the league?
It
Yes, it
might
is.
be, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, that is just awful. 27 and a half games out. The NL Central, there's not much to talk about here. I just want to say shame on the Cincinnati Reds. Shame on the Cincinnati Reds. They should be expelled from baseball. The way they had an exciting team last year, and then all of a sudden they said, "Oh, can't pay these guys. Get rid of everybody." It's like, how can you be a Cincinnati Reds fan and have any hope? 34 and 57. Like just terrible, terrible management for the Cincinnati Reds. That's
Yeah.
demoralizing.
Yeah, and I think also from what I remember, I think they were also one of the teams who were holding the lockout longer because of like the like all like the I forgot what was it. I forgot exactly what was it, but the teams that were holding out, there were like four teams, and one of them were the Reds. They were pretty much all the cheap teams. Well,
Mhm.
quote unquote cheap teams that were holding up the lockout.
Guys, how do you think Marcus Stroman is loving Chicago?
Uh, it's the Windy City. I'll say, Windy City.
I
Uh,
hope he's I hope he's miserable and cold.
he had
He
he
pitched
had.
good against the Mets yesterday, was it?
I mean, he's
Pitch
still
I'm
long.
sure he loved
alright.
that. I'm
He
sure he
was
tweeted
alright.
his highlights.
Yeah, I mean, look. At the end of the day, Stroh's one of those dudes who's he's super emotional. He talks a lot of shit on Twitter or whatever the case is. He's this new generation on social media at the end of the day. So like for me, with the way that he left New York, and the things he had to say, I left that in the back burner with Stroh. I liked him when he was here. But just the way he left, him and Syndergaard both. It was like freaking baby the two of you freaking idiots. And and the two of you had shit to talk or whatever went on the way out or whatever. And now we're in first place. So have that. What about them apples? Go suck
Damn.
a fat one.
I mean,
And
they're both bitching about, oh, and we didn't have a real GM, and they're not really, paying attention to us first. They rather pay Max Scherzer $45 million. Well, you know what? That $45 million got a better ERA, more strikeouts than both you motherfuckers. He
But
got
it's
more wins and he been hurt. He's
yeah,
just
but it's not
better.
only that. Yeah, it's not only that, but Nolan Syndergaard was out for the season. So I
yeah,
mean, I don't
Yeah.
understand what did he exactly expect. I think he got a fair offer. I think that 1 year, $18 million was a very fair offer. He really didn't get that much different from the Angels. He got like what $3 million more. So
yeah.
He
that
could have
was a little
made that
confusing.
back
That
in
was
in one of his endorsements.
I'm saying like that situation was confusing because I was like, why they like that was a little weird with Stroman. I mean, yeah, the guy just talks way too much.
Yeah,
I
he
think
was.
he not only that, but like usually when he goes on these rants, usually a lot of stuff he says are just so inconsistent with what he complains about. And I mean, no, I don't think nobody really feels bad for him now because he kind of made himself a target. He's been making himself a target for a while. I think the offseason just made it worse just because of, the claims of, management being racist,
Mhm.
saying all that crazy stuff. I don't think he really didn't do himself any favors at all. And I think yeah, so this like a lot of people don't feel bad for him. Like I don't feel bad for him. Like he kind of got what he deserved, to be honest with you.
I mean, the
Listen,
owner's wife is Puerto Rican. I'm just saying. Like,
I, the guys in development are by majority they're people of color and things of that nature. Shout out to little NBA reference here, Donovan Mitchell's dad, who's been who's been working for the
yeah,
Mets for 20 plus years.
yeah.
So he's I don't know, man. Stroh left Toronto in a bad way. Stroh left the Mets in a bad way. He likes to burn bridges, man. I'm not a fan of that. So he could do
He
whatever he wants over in Chicago, man.
he even burned his bridge with the Yankees, and he wasn't even on the Yankees. That's how crazy.
That's
Like that's
impressive.
how crazy he gets. Like that's how insane he gets. Like I just don't get it. And it's not like he's a bad pitcher at all, and that's what makes
No,
it like even like more like disappointing because it's like if he was in the right situation, he could be one of the best pitchers in the league. Like if he was to calm
Yeah.
down certain things that he does, he could easily be a top 5 pitcher, in my opinion.
Yeah, man, his pitch to contact ratio is amazing, and the amount of outs that he gets on the ground and everything else in
Yeah.
between. It's like the dude is serviceable, but it's like, bro, your mouth gets you in more trouble than anything else, or whatever. I think the Washington Nationals gave Bryce Harper some advice on the way out. It was like, keep your mouth shut, keep it out, and you'll do just fine, kid. So I think Stroh should take that to heart as well. Not to say that people shouldn't express themselves, but it's like, damn, bro, you spend a lot of nonsense out here, kid. Like
Tone it down. Tone it down.
What's up, everyone in the chat watching us? You, my boy Blue. What's up, boys? I'm just here to drop a like. I don't know shit about baseball. Yeah, there aren't any baseball teams in Carolina. You could always be a Yankees fan. I mean, if you're looking for a team, why not the best team in baseball, right? I mean, geez.
I mean, most people in Carolina are Braves fans, or they still, yeah, Braves fans, or
Well,
they.
now's the perfect time to be a Braves fan. They are the defending champs.
Exactly.
So, the NL West, the Dodgers are king. Last year, the Giants were much better than they are this year. That was a three-headed monster last year. The Padres are 10 games over, and they've done it all without Fernando Tatis Jr., who is on the mend. When Tatis comes back, can the Padres be a threat? Will he improve them that much more?
No.
What do you guys say?
Absolutely not.
No.
Absolutely not.
He'll make them better, but they won't be. I mean, there's no way to get him past the Dodgers.
Yeah, even with Tatis back in the lineup, I don't think. I don't see them making like a real run. Maybe for a wild card spot at most, but anything significant, I really don't see it. Just because Tatis himself cannot stay healthy, and I think that's what's gonna happen when he comes back. I think some way, somehow, he's gonna get injured again. It's one of those situations with San Diego that I think they made too many moves to try to be the Dodgers, and you're just not the Dodgers, and I think that's their problem right now.
Blue says, I live in Atlanta, right by the stadium. I'm not a Braves fan. You just don't like baseball, I guess.
He's not a Braves fan. He's not a baseball fan. It's all right, Blue. We know that you love pro wrestling, so this is your support of the True Heel Heat channel.
I know he loves the Carolina Panthers. So.
I was gonna say he's a Sam Darnold guy.
Big Cam Newton guy too.
Well, now he's a Baker Mayfield guy.
Now he's a Baker Mayfield guy.
Baker Mayfield guy. He got 3 QBs that he could cheer on over there.
Jeez.
Big Mike, let's go Tigers. Big Mike.
Why?
The only guy I know who says these words. No, wait, I say let's go Tigers, but I say let's go LSU Tigers. I'm sorry.
I mean, if you still cheer for Miguel Cabrera, I guess that's pretty much all you.
Honorary All-Star.
Yeah,
yes.
which is deserving of course. So I'm not mad about that.
I'll ask you guys 2 questions. First, who is the most surprising team to you in baseball at the All-Star break? I am going to go ahead and say for me, the Baltimore Orioles. I can't believe they're not more horrific than they are. They're at 500. I would never, ever have believed you if you told me the Orioles were 500 at the All-Star break. Who's your most surprising team, J News?
It's a good point about the Baltimore Orioles. After they called up Adley Rutschman, they've been on fire for the most part. But for me, the Cleveland Guardians, man, that's surprising as hell to me. I thought they were going to be really bad this year. To piggyback off of the year that they had last year, I didn't figure that with Shane Bieber not starting on the rotation at the beginning of the season, I'm not too sure what they were gonna get out of their. I think the Tristan McKenzie is their second line pitcher. I'm not too sure what they thought they were going to get out of him, but he's been much better as of late. So that's been a plus. Right now they're really winning this trade with the Mets because Rosario and fucking Jimenez are actually playing well, and they're adding to the offense. J-Ram is J-Ram at the end of the day. They're still getting decent play from Tyler Naquin, so it's like, okay, all right. So they're doing well, and I didn't expect that at all.
Josh Naylor also
Yeah,
playing well.
also playing well. So Cleveland's really surprised me. So I'll go with them.
Who's your pick, Josh? Most surprising team.
I'm gonna go with the Braves. Just because the way they started off the gate, sometimes you never know what's going on, especially losing Freddie Freeman. I thought that was a big loss for them. They kind of you could say they kind of made up for it with Matt Olson, even
Oh,
though
they got
I
a
don't
hell of
think,
a replacement.
Mhm.
Yeah.
yeah, like even though I
And
don't
Freddie
think he-
Freeman, the whole agent drama. How about that?
oh, I mean, oh, that's something else, yo. Especially if what's accurate, like what was said was accurate. I kind of don't blame Freddie Freeman, but you could just tell like it's definitely it hasn't affected his play. So
No.
good props to him. Like he's still
Mhm.
putting up pretty much the same numbers. So it hasn't really affected him that way. But I think the Braves are just more surprising just because out of the gate, um, they struggle, but at the same time, they tend to do this. They tend to struggle and then freaking pick it back up during the middle of the season. So they're going through that wave right now. But yeah, I would probably say the Braves, and just because right now they're like what 2.5 games behind the
Mhm.
Mets, which is a lot closer than I thought they were. Like I thought they were. So like that's gonna be an interesting race during the second half as well.
Mhm. We have a lot of
Chris,
games against them
Mm.
down the
Chris,
stretch.
your most surprising team, and surprising in a positive manner, because the next question is going to be most disappointing team.
Oh, okay. Okay. Well, I guess I'm going to have to go with the Mariners. Just looking at all these teams, I wouldn't think the Mariners would be second place in their division.
On that hot streak, who's your most disappointing team, Chris?
Oh, the Angels by far. There's no way they should be worse than the Mariners and the Texas Rangers, and they fucking are by far. They're really bad. So I don't know what it is. I thought they would be so much better, especially when you got like guys like Otani and Trout who just want to go out there and play and like win. You know what I mean? Like it's like nobody else on the team gives a fuck. It's like they're just getting paid. It's all good.
Chris, sidebar, Chris, and for everybody here right now, I'm gonna do the sidebar question because it's important to me. All right, if you had to choose trade for your team, Mike Trout, Otani, Juan Soto, who you picking? Who you trading for?
I'm
If I wanted
giving
to
up.
pursue
I'm
a
giving.
trade,
I'm
You're
giving
going
up
for a
7
trade.
top
I'm
prospects for Juan Soto.
Juan Soto. I'm trading for
I'm
Juan
giving.
Soto.
I'm giving 25 prospects. The top
I've
25. I'm
been
giving
I've
all
been saying
25
since
of them.
last year. Yeah, I've been saying since last year, like he's gonna be a future Yankee, and I've been posting up a lot of Photoshop pictures. So
no,
I gotta stick to that. I gotta stick to that.
I would trade for Otani. I would trade for Otani because he helps the starting pitching too. He would help the starting pitching of the Yankees. I'd go for Otani out of
Yeah,
those three.
I'm with you,
It's
Romeo. I'd probably go for Otani myself. There's a dude.
And
Shaq-
Otani had his chance to be a Yankee, and he didn't want to be the bright lights. He didn't want to. He wanted to go to the Angels of Los Angeles, of
But
Anaheim,
then
wherever the fuck
also
they
to be
are.
fair, when he's pitched at Yankee Stadium, he hasn't done well. So who knows? Who knows how that would have gone?
Yeah,
it's a
he's got to go against our
bandbox in
lineup.
Yankee Stadium. It's a bandbox. Who wants to pitch in Yankee Stadium? It's a bandbox. Damn it.
I would definitely go for the left. Mike Trout would be last because I like the left-handers at Yankee Stadium.
Well,
even though
yeah.
Mike Trout can hit it everywhere.
Trout
And Mike
will be
Trout's,
last just
you know,
because one, he has a bigger deal, like he has a bunch of years left on his deal, but then also
Sure.
the last few seasons he's been pretty injury prone. So
Yeah.
with Mike
Yeah.
Trout, like you know what you're getting on the field. You know what you're getting on the field with Mike Trout, but he's been injury prone the last few seasons. So that's pretty scary.
He's also the oldest. I mean, he's 30,
He's the
31
oldest.
already. So I mean,
Yeah, that's
so
part
that's
of it
why
too.
I
Yeah,
go with
he is the
Soto,
oldest.
man. Soto's not even a guy who's touching his prime yet, and he's still fucking
Yeah,
amazing. So
Soto's the youngest. With
Yeah.
Otani, I'll still be like, I don't know. What he's
I'm
doing is pretty
cautious.
amazing right now.
I'm
Yeah, right now
cautious.
what he's doing is pretty amazing. But he's in such a unique position. You just don't know how long this is gonna keep going.
I mean, I think it's been to. I don't mean to minimize it, but I feel like even getting 2 seasons of what we've gotten out of Otani the last 2 years is like unreal, son. Like we'll never see this in baseball again. Like that's legit.
No, you
So
won't.
Yeah, so for him to even doing this for 2 seasons in a row, hitting for power, good average,
And then
freaking
yeah,
the his pitching is better this season than it was last season
Exactly.
coming off of Tommy John. So
Mhm.
it's like, yo, this dude is a freaking unicorn, like
yeah,
legit. Like fuck
yeah.
Kristaps Porzingis. Like
And it's not
shit.
and it's not only that, and it's not only that, but like if you really look at his Japan stats, right? Because like if you even if you go further than that, his Japan stats weren't like as great as it is now. I think he had like one good season, like you could even say maybe great season, but for the most part, he was either hurt or just not playing. So what he's doing now is probably more than what he even did in Japan.
Yeah.
Um, I was gonna agree the Angels are the most disappointing team. Does anyone have someone different, or is we all agree in that?
I've got the White Sox because I mentioned them earlier. The White Sox to me are the most disappointing team to me, just because I love like they're my uh my second favorite team to watch on MLB.TV, and when I have a chance, and because they're just exciting to watch, and with all the injuries that happen, and like Tim Anderson's out there by himself sometimes, it's like, yo, these guys got to be able to add to it. So that's been heavily disappointing to watch the White Sox come back down to earth the way that they have. But hopefully the second half of the season is better for them. But right now the White Sox are my team. As to I don't ever expect anything from the Angels. They haven't invested in pitching in years or whatever. That Anthony Rendon contract is an albatross or whatever. He's
They
always
had a
injured.
lot of bad contracts.
Yeah.
I feel like the last pitcher they
Had a
tried to
lot of
sign
bad
was like Jared Weaver or some shit. It's like the last
CJ
contract they
Wilson,
gave out.
Chris. CJ, they're still
CJ
paying CJ
Wilson.
Wilson.
Oh my, that's a name I
Syndergaard.
haven't heard in years.
Yeah, no, it's just yeah. So like with the Angels, I can't really say they're the most disappointing team just because they had a hot start. I think people were fooled by that, the hot start. But the problem with
That's
the
right.
Angels
Everyone was
is
talking about New York, LA,
yeah,
LA.
his
It was like
overall
all on top.
development. That's the thing. But that's the thing though, too, with the Angels. Like what they did, like what 20 years ago, what they did well were you know their farm system. They were very good at developing their players, and they've kind of gotten away from that like for a long time. I would say for like maybe like the last like what
Since
12
that
like
Vlad
12
contract,
seasons or
man.
something.
Since that
Like I would
Vlad
say
contract.
I'll probably say since the
Damn.
Pujols contract because that's
That's
where it kind of
that's
went
after
more
the Vlad
downhill.
contract.
Mhm.
I would say
Yeah.
I would say more so with the Pujols contract. It kind of went downhill after that because then they had Josh Hamilton, who only played what one season with the Angels.
Yeah.
So it's just been a lot of bad contracts. I think that's their farm system. I know was like one of the worst in baseball too. So it's just overall development. You could have two players, right? You could have two players who could try to carry a team, but if your overall team just if they suck, then
They blow, yeah.
you're never gonna get anywhere. You're just never gonna prove.
Bro, did you say Josh Hamilton?
Now that's a name I've not heard in a long time. A long time.
Remember, yeah, he had.
Oh, I
They
remember.
gave him they gave him a 5-year contract, and because he broke like his sorority,
I forgot about
they try to void his contract completely, and it didn't work. It
Yeah, it
didn't
didn't
work.
work.
Man, I remember wanting to see that swing in Yankee Stadium. Good thing we did it. Good thing we did it.
It's tough with guys like that, man, because it's because of the background and their issues and stuff like that, putting them in major metropolitan cities like LA, even though he
Yeah.
flourished there. No, actually he didn't flourish there. He flourished in Texas.
Yeah.
It's tough, man. And his comeback story was so
Yeah.
dope. And for him to just
Wow, poor choice of words there.
yeah. What you gonna do?
Oh, shit.
But,
You're killing me.
Threw my shoulder out laughing at that.
but I'm here to bring the comedy, folks. I'm here to bring the comedy. But anyways, nah, man, it's like Josh said, I think that the Angels, ever since the Pujols contract, just a run of bad contracts, man. Pujols, Rendon, Hamilton. Like I said, CJ, they're still paying CJ Wilson, and it was only a 4-year deal. You know what I'm saying? Like it's
Man.
absurd, bro. It's they're just bad, and just trade Otani and Trout somewhere. alleviate the money, they got to pay at least half that Trout contract in order to get rid of him.
Crazy.
So, but they got to do it, man. They got to rebuild somehow, and they do a lot of what the Yankees do with their young players, like the overhype in Los Angeles for the players in the pipeline is absurd. Like Joe Adele was like the second coming of Mike Trout, and he's like not even
They
that
tend
good.
to do that.
So,
They tend to do that a lot in baseball overall. That's why sometimes it gets annoying when I hear about players. Sometimes it's like, oh, like, can we just relax on this? Like, you have no idea how tired I got hearing about Tatis. Every time he hit a home run, they wanted to make a big deal. I was like, oh God. And then the team is not good.
Guys, we will make official playoff predictions in a future video further down the line. But I did want to get your thoughts, at least in the wild card race. You know, there are 3 wild card teams this year. A new rule, new format. The last place wild card team will take on the worst division winner, and the best 2 division winners in the league will get they'll wait till the ALDS to play. And then number 1 and 2 in the wild cards will play each other. Best of 3 series for both. So I wanted to see who you think would be the 3 wild cards for each league. I could pull up wild card standings here.
Yeah,
but,
I was about to ask that. I want to see that.
Yeah. Keep in mind, though, you know, somebody who's leading division could fall in a wild card here too. I'm gonna go. I think this is gonna stay the same. I think Seattle will be first, and it'll be Tampa, Toronto, second and third. Does anyone have anything different in the American League?
I'm going to say I'm gonna take a shot in the dark, right? I'm gonna say the Mariners. Toronto gets a little hot after firing their manager, and the Baltimore fucking Orioles finish strong for that third wild card spot.
Oh my
The
God.
Baltimore Orioles. I'm just gonna take a shot in the dark. I just want to see if it comes true. Because if it's not the Orioles, I'm going with the Guardians. Or
Jay
perhaps the
News.
White Sox. I'll go with the White Sox if they fire La Russa. There we go. That's better.
No, they're not firing.
So wait. I want to keep track of this. So who's your official pick? Baltimore or Chicago?
No, I'm gonna go Mariners, Toronto, White Sox.
I chickened out. He chickened out. You saw that?
Oh.
I almost got you.
Look at that. You did all that damn explaining just to back it up.
Jay News, who are going to be your 3 AL wild cards? Do you think the White Sox are going to turn things around and sneak into a wild card, or maybe even take the AL Central, and maybe it's Minnesota?
So I expect Chicago to rebound and take the Central. To be honest, that's my guesstimation there. But from the wild card standpoint, I've got Tampa Bay at the 1. I got the Baltimore Orioles at the 2.
Listen to this guy.
At the Baltimore Orioles at the 2, and rounding up the 3rd spot. I said it before. They're my most surprising team. I'm going to give them the 3rd place in the wild card, Cleveland Guardians. That's what I got in the wild card for now. Tampa Bay stays where they are, man. People tend to always want to push Tampa Bay under the rug. They are always where they need to be at the end of every season. Tampa Bay is going to make it. They're going to be number 1. Like I said before, I've got my second team.
So Jay
there.
News,
More.
You think Seattle's going to fall back, and you think Minnesota's going to collapse?
Yeah, for sure. Minnesota doesn't have enough pitching to stay where they are. Seattle's running the wave right now with the young players. But as we know how baseball works, baseball is the game in law of averages. So they're hot right now. They're gonna drop off at the end of the day. Not saying that the Angels are gonna take away with where Seattle.
No.
You know, I just don't feel like that Seattle's gonna be in the wild card picture at the end of it all.
Josh, who are your 3?
Go with Tampa. That's a hard one. Tampa, Toronto, and then I'm gonna go with the Guardians.
Cleveland also. Cool.
Just because Seattle, to add to what Jay News just said, usually Seattle, they tend to do this as well. They tend to have like a hot streak. I they haven't been like this hot, but they usually tend to pick up momentum and they kind of fumble usually like the last like few weeks of the season. So I think that's gonna end up happening. Um, yeah, and I think the Guardians, I think they'll sneak in there just because they're one of those gritty teams that you just don't know with them. So I'll go with that. And then Tampa Bay, like this guy, like they usually are never out, but it's just with Tampa Bay, you know they're gonna get in. It's just them winning the big one. They just can't seem to do it.
Right. National League wild cards. I'm gonna go with the Braves, the Padres, and I think Milwaukee loses control of the division. I think St. Louis takes that. I got Milwaukee as my third. Chris, what do you got?
I got the Braves. I do have Milwaukee going into the second one. Cardinals winning that division. And for some reason, my gut is telling me because it always happens, or it feels like it always happens. I don't know. It's an even year, maybe not. But the Giants always get fucking hot, like at a certain time, and they teeter with like grabbing the division, but then they end up in the wild card and still go deep in the playoffs. So I'm gonna say the San Francisco Giants get that third spot.
Yeah, I'm just not in love with their pitching. What do you think, J News?
Yeah, I'm not in love with San Francisco pitching either, but I tend to agree with Chris that they get hot, and it's
Yeah.
like no one, because we live on the East Coast, no one notices. San Francisco all of a sudden, they like 14 games in a row, and it's like, man, when did this happen? We all sleeping when they playing,
Exactly.
Yeah. It is what it is there, but from a National League standpoint.
It's just they gotta. I know it's happened before, but they gotta play the Dodgers a lot. They gotta play the Padres a lot. I don't know.
But they still have a
It's not
bunch of
only
games.
that, but
They still have a bunch of games in Colorado left, so they're gonna eat. They're gonna eat, man. So that's why I feel like Chris is right about the Giants. But I have Atlanta, got the Giants, and the St. Louis Cardinals. Even though I'm a Cardinals hater for all the right reasons, I'm a Cardinals hater. I don't.
Beltron, what are you looking at, Beltron? Come on, swing the bat, Beltron.
My favorite baseball player is their third baseman at the end of the day. I bleed blue and orange, but Nolan Arenado is my favorite player to watch. And I feel like if he stays consistent, like he has been this season, along with Goldschmidt being a front runner for MVP in the National League and whatnot, and their pitching steadying out as it has been lately, I think that they're going to be able to ride that wave and at least get into the wild card, because Milwaukee, for whatever reason, they're walking away with that Central. So I feel like
it's going to stay that way.
Yeah, it'll stay that way. Yeah.
Josh, who are your 3 NL wild cards?
I'm gonna go with Atlanta, St. Louis, and the last one I'm gonna go with. I want to say the Giants, but it's like this guy said, it's an even year. So, sorry,
Josh does not want the Phillies. He does not want to. I got no faith.
I don't know. I mean, the thing is with the Phillies, I don't know if they're gonna keep it up, because eventually them not having Harper is gonna hurt them. So, yeah, I'll go with the Giants.
What is his injury? Is it a
broken thumb?
What is his injury? Broken thumb. You go with the Giants?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the Giants because, like, they tend to be they tend to be a streaky team as well. They usually get hot at the right time. So I think it's probably gonna keep going with that. Gabe Kapler has done he has done a good job with them. He was known as a manager who, when he was with, who was it that he managed? It was the Phillies, right? That he
Phillies,
managed?
Phillies first, and then San
Yeah,
Fran.
and he didn't get a great response to his first run as a manager. I think with San Francisco, I think he's finally found his niche. So I think it's gonna be San Francisco.
All right, guys, let's Big Mike, a comment here. Arenado is also his favorite player, but he hates the Cardinals with a passion.
I understand that.
Why do Tigers fans hate the Cardinals?
That probably has to go back to the
In
late 60s.
2006, no,
Maybe
the
that's it.
World Series. I think they
Yeah,
swept the Tigers in the World
yes.
Series.
In 4. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's right. Couldn't even get
Right.
one, son. They had
So we
Verlander.
hate, we literally hate the Cardinals for the same year.
Bruh, the Tigers are so bad. I forget they got to a damn World Series. Damn.
They actually got to 2 World Series.
Yeah.
That
And
I
they
let's
forgot.
and they sucked in both World Series.
Let's have some fun. It's All-Star break, and tomorrow night it'll be the Home Run Derby. And here's what the brackets look like. They got this tournament style Home Run Derby. Schwarber versus the old guy. Albert Pujols, one last stand. Juan Soto, we've been talking about him versus Jose Ramirez. Pete Alonso, previous champ, versus Ronald Acuna. And Corey Seager versus Julio Rodriguez. Who's your pick for this? Do I have to ask the Mets fans? Do I have to ask them?
Oh, this is totally biased. We are totally biased. I would like to see a Pete versus Pujols finals, though.
Yeah.
I think it would be very, very like passing of the torch in terms of like power guys.
Schwarber's gonna kill him. Schwarber's gonna kill him.
He's
Who
hot.
else is one and done? Yeah, I think Alonso wins this. What do you think, Josh?
I think Alonso wins. Yeah, I think he gets his 3rd batting champion title.
We all agree.
3-peat, baby. 3-peat.
3-peat. I see what you did there.
Yeah, because I mean, if you look at the names, I mean, who really stands out? To be honest, after Pete, who really stands out? Maybe
I would say Ramirez might give him the biggest.
Actually, I like Soto.
I feel like we don't give Kyle Schwarber his King of SWAT rendition enough. The dude can hit some tanks. So depending as to if he can sustain it from a stamina standpoint, like he's
That's
gonna
the thing. That's the thing.
he's gonna be able to give everybody a run for their money. But yeah, man, I got Pete in this, man. Pete for the 3-peat at the end of the day. Juan Soto's gonna be like dope to watch just because his angle, how he launches shit. It's like, yeah, we'll see how it goes.
If Pete wins, he'll definitely be top 10. Chris, don't worry.
Oh, thank you. Finally, he'll crack.
Wait, you got to explain that. You got to explain that to our viewers.
So they did a list, right? About they were talking about like the top players in NYC, and I think who was number 1? I think it was Jacob deGrom, right? So a lot of us like disagreed with that. We were like, "Oh, Aaron Judge is the number 1 player in NYC." So for a while, I've been telling Chris that when he was like, "Oh, what about Pete?" I've been telling him like, "Oh, Pete is like number 13, 14."
Bullshit. He should be top 5, man. He should be top 5. It's a travesty.
And then when I said that, when he brought up Rizzo, I was like, "Oh, Rizzo was like number 4." He got even more upset. When I said that.
Bullshit.
The All-Star game is Tuesday, and we'll be right here doing a watch along. We're going to pass on watching NXT for one night. We should survive from doing that. We will watch the MLB All-Star game. I got to say, me personally, the MLB All-Star game
definitely will survive.
is by far my favorite All-Star game. It feels like it's taken the most seriously. You know, the pitchers don't want to be embarrassed. The batters don't want to be embarrassed.
It's by far the best. It's by far the best. I think Austin, just because the competitiveness, they're not bullshitting. Even the pitchers, they're not bullshitting. I feel like when I in comparison, right, like the NBA, everyone is just they're like lobbing, dunking, shooting.
No
They're
defense.
not really. There's no competition there. And at least with baseball, it's like you're seeing a baseball game. That's just what it comes down to.
And football, nobody wants to get hurt. Understandable. They should get rid of that game completely.
Yeah, I just don't watch it.
Unless it's flag football. Maybe they could do that. That would be, I don't know. I got a guilty a confession here. I even love the All-Star game when it was played for home field advantage in the World Series.
They're
Like,
still
oh shit. Fuck
They're
it.
still doing that.
No, they don't do that anymore.
Yeah.
No, they don't do that no more.
No.
Hold on. Wait a minute. Time out.
Oh,
Hold
it's
on.
gonna research it.
Hold
No,
on.
there's no way. There's no way. They stopped that
Oh, they haven't done
a
it.
minute ago.
Now they haven't done it in a few seasons. They haven't done it. I think Manfred
They
kinda
should
took
do
that
it though.
out.
I really
Oh,
like
so
that.
you guys liked it too?
Yeah, I did.
I thought I'd be in the minority here.
Hold on.
I'm like mixed. I was mixed about it.
Am I really that out of touch? My bosses would be upset. My bosses would be upset at me right now for being out of touch. I'll believe
Yeah,
you
they
guys.
haven't done it in years.
If they haven't done it in years,
Yeah,
then
yeah,
it
they
is
haven't
what
done
it
it.
is.
I know. They did remove it. I think once, I think Manfred took control. I think that's what happened because I know it was a Selig thing. I know he was the one that made that move, but yeah, they definitely removed it.
But they still play for something, don't they? It's not like home field advantage or whatever the case is, but like
No.
so,
No.
no, okay,
No.
all right.
No.
Not that I know of, but
They just
we'll know
play.
for sure
They
when we
just-
watch Tuesday night.
They just play for bragging rights, pretty much.
Makes sense.
I'm gonna pull up these All-Star Game rosters. Now I was gonna ask you guys about, snubs and does anybody robbed? But the thing is, like, there's injuries, people can't
Yeah.
play because of pitching, and then eventually everyone who deserves to go actually goes.
Got in.
Right.
Yeah.
So like, I don't think there's any snubs. Snubs.
Did
Yeah,
Freddie Freeman get
the
it?
only
Yes,
it wasn't really
he just got
snubs.
him.
Yeah,
He
got him
did.
before
wasn't
he
really
won.
snubs. Yeah, there wasn't really snubs. I just don't think the only player that sticks out to me. I don't think Acuna should have been a All-Star. That's just my opinion.
Acuna
Yeah, I feel like this has been
definitely should have been voted a starter.
it's been a battle with Major League Baseball, the players and things of that nature. Folks talking about should the fan voting be taken out of the All-Star game, just because it's really more of a popularity contest than it is, giving the proper guys the props that they deserve to be in the All-Star game. So I'm usually fan first, but like when it comes to baseball's All-Star
Fuck the
game,
fans.
Yeah. When it comes to the All-Star voting, I feel the same way though.
Tatis was getting votes.
Yes.
He hasn't played a single game.
Yeah. Yeah.
He can't even make the game.
I will say the only guy I don't think that really deserved to make it, but they kind of just put him on the team because it was like the hometown. I think somebody from the A's, like one of their pitchers, no?
Yeah. One of their pictures ended up on the
Yeah, I know what you're talking
Blackburn.
about. Yeah.
Paul Blackburn. There we go.
Yeah.
Well, they got the dopey rule of
Right.
every team must have an all-star,
Star, yeah.
which I think is stupid. What do you guys think? Does every team need an all-star?
No, because your fucking best player could be terrible.
What do you think, Josh?
No,
Should every team have an all-star?
I would say, yeah, Chris has a point to that because, like, I mean, when you have bad teams, you're not gonna have a great player on the team. But I mean, I kind of get why they do it. It's just certain situations. I mean, there's a clear guy who's better. I think he should get in. I think the pitcher from the White Sox should have gotten in over the player from the A's. What's his name? Dylan Cease. I think he should have gotten.
Oh,
in.
Dylan Cease?
Oh yeah, absolutely. He's been killing it.
Oh,
Coleman.
he's
that's
not,
more
he's
so
not on the
because-
team.
Yeah.
Oh.
No, he's not. Yeah, he got snubbed.
Yeah.
That's a good snub right there.
All right, there's a snub. We found a snub. Let me go through these quickly. These starters for the AL: Kirk, Guerrero, Altuve, who is not going to play.
Who's Alejandro Kirk?
Devers.
is
He's got the best stats among catchers in the AL. Definitely.
Is that the deal? That's why he's on the team. I never heard of him outside of when he got put on the All-Star team.
Yeah.
Oh,
he's
yeah, he's really good. Yeah,
Uh,
he's decent. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, he's decent.
Devers, TA, Judge, of course, was the leading vote getter.
Freaking
Trout,
Devers
who
killed
is
the
not going to
Yankees.
play. Stanton definitely deserved it. Otani, who also got voted in as a starting pitcher. And the legacy selection. You guys like the legacy selections? Cabrera and Pujols will both be
I did.
playing in the All-Star game. I like it too.
Yeah.
The reserves, Jose Trevino.
Yeah, yeah,
He's
but just
been
because
amazing.
it's Pujols' last season too. So yeah,
Yeah.
it's Pujols' last season too. So I don't mind that.
Trevino, who has been amazing for the Yankees, getting the most out of starting pitching. Luis Arraez from Minnesota, who leads the league in hitting. Ty France, there was a lot of uproar. Why wasn't he on the team? He's making it just because, people can't play. Jimenez makes it also with Altuve out. Santiago Espinal made it also for, like I said, everyone finds a way to get in. It's like rarely any snubs. Jose Ramirez, Xander Bogaerts, Corey Seager is not playing. Buxton will start with Trout sidelined. Tucker, Springer can't play. Benintendi, Julio Rodriguez, Alvarez, JD Martinez. The starting pitchers. Who do you guys think is going to start the All-Star game for the AL? It's not going to be Verlander. It's not going to be Cole because of they just can't. It's not timing right as far as when they pitch last.
Yeah, they weren't going to start either way. Yeah, I didn't see them starting.
I think it'll be the guy from
Verlander
Tampa,
would have
McClanahan.
Yeah, I would have said Verlander.
Well.
Yeah, I would have said Verlander, but since he started last night or something or Friday,
yeah,
he wasn't gonna make it.
I'd start Shohei, but that's just me.
Oh yeah, it might be Shohei too.
Yeah, I'm with Chris. Yeah, I think Ohtani starts the game. Just from a star power.
Yeah, I would say Shohei, and then I would say Shohei, and then it makes sense because then if he's allowed to come back in it, so that makes the most sense. I would say.
The relievers, Clay Holmes, man, the Pirates have gotten rid of so many guys that have been have developed into phenoms on other teams. Clay Holmes is one of them. I don't know some of these pitchers, Lopez, Soto. The National League. This is a cool story because for the first time since the Alomar brothers, the Contreras brothers will be on the same team, the NL All-Star team. That's cool. Wilson Contreras, Paul Goldschmidt, Jazz Chisholm will not be able to play. Manny Machado, Trey Turner, Ronald Acuna, Jock Peterson, Mookie Betts, Bryce Harper can't play. Albert Pujols, the legacy choice. And the reserves, Freddie Freeman makes it. You guys can't be upset about Pete Alonso not being over Goldschmidt, or are you upset?
No. I mean, I think it's for me at least. Seeing Goldschmidt bounce back after having 3 to 4 not abysmal but bad seasons, because the dude was in this bound for Hall of Fame trajectory, and then once he got to St. Louis, shit just tapered off, and this season he was able to finally bounce back. It was cool to see. I mean, Pete's gonna be in the home run derby. He's gonna thrive off of that. He'll be part of the festivities regardless. So, but at the end of the day, as him being there as a reserve, I can't be mad, man. I can't be mad.
Yeah, look at all these reserves you guys got. You got Alonso. You got Jeff McNeil made it with Chisholm not being able to play. Mm-hmm. You got Starling Marte.
McNeil made it regardless. He's going to start now.
Yeah,
so now at least we got a starter for the Mets.
Yeah. Hey, even Travis Denard, he's former
Mets legend, New York Mets legend. Travis don't know.
Yeah. Travis Denard, no. God damn.
Yeah, that's gonna do it for the All-Star. Who do you think starts for the National League starting pitchers? Wait, where is it?
You gotta go back up. There you go.
Oh, it only has the AL.
Oh, no, it's the AL.
Oh, they don't have it on the list.
I mean, if I had to pick, I would go with Sandy Alcantara from Miami. I think he's been the most solid pitcher.
Yeah, I would say him to start.
Oh, here
it is. Yeah. Joe Musgrove's been killing it too, but I would go with Sandy.
Yeah,
I agree. And Edwin Diaz made it.
Yeah, Sandy Alcantara, he should start because everybody else hasn't necessarily been great.
Yeah.
Right? So yeah, makes sense.
Not only should he start, but he's my NL Cy Young Award winner right now.
Yeah, ain't nobody better, man. Ain't nobody better. I can't even. If his season falls off a cliff, and Max Scherzer continues to pitch the way that he is, then it'll be Max at the end of the season. But outside of that, I don't see him falling off a cliff though. Like the
Nah.
Marlins are going to continue to play the way that they are, and he's going to continue to pitch the way that he's pitching, lacking injury. So yeah,
Yeah.
he's
It's
running
also
away.
been great to see. It's also been great to see just because when they lost this guy when they lost their pitcher from a few years ago,
Oh
the one
man,
that
yeah, man.
passed away,
Oh
you know,
shit.
they're in a situation where you didn't know what was going to happen with the franchise. So to have something like this, at least kind of bounces back to see like their development.
Yeah.
Yeah.
AL MVP. I've seen people make cases for Otani. Some journalists making cases for Jordan Alvarez.
Come on.
Stop.
Come on. Let's stop the
Stop.
cap.
Shut
Let's
the
stop the
hell up.
cap.
Stop trying to be cute and get clicks and clickbait. It's Aaron Judge. It's Aaron Judge who bet on himself, who said no thank you to the Yankees' generous offer, said I'm going to be worth a lot more than that. And he's going into the All-Star break with 33 home runs, which is right tied with Roger Maris when he went into the All-Star break on his 61 year.
Mhm.
Do you guys agree Judge is the MVP? And does Judge match Roger Maris 61 home runs, which some people consider, hey, the legit home run record? I don't know.
We won't get into the legitimacy of whatever is a record and whatever is not at this point in baseball. But yeah, Aaron Judge running away with the AL MVP. As much of a Met fan as I am not a Met fan who is also a Yankee hater, so I can appreciate when players are good and when they're not. So yeah, Aaron Judge far and away AL MVP. Otani's probably a far second, probably. But yeah, Judge is head and shoulders above everybody else right now.
Armand tells us 2016 was the last time home field advantage was a part of the All-Star game. Also says Sandy should start, but most likely Kershaw will get the nod.
Who's
Yeah, it is.
been
Yeah,
hot
it is.
lately too. He's another guy who's been fucking almost perfect, damn near perfect.
The
with a
entire
couple
Dodgers
starts.
starting pitching, like mostly is like they've been legit.
Yeah, was that kid Gonsolin too? Right, he's another one in LA.
He's got a
He's been
crazy,
doing
like they all got crazy records too. Like
Yeah, usually Los
11 and
Angeles
1,
10
10
and
and
1,
Dodgers
2.2 ERA.
Dodgers usually from 1 through 5 usually have like top notch pitching, and this is like this year is no different.
And mind
Urias,
you,
Julio Urias as well.
they're missing Dustin
Yep.
May. So
Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
they're missing Dustin May, and Walker Buehler's having a down season.
Yeah,
So,
crazy.
he's still pretty solid. Yeah.
Down, yep.
So-
That's why it's crazy.
We all agree Judge MVP. Do you guys, Chris and Josh, do you think he catches Maris?
65.
He's at 60.
65.
I think he could do it. I think he could do it.
I don't know because with Judge, the thing is with Judge is if I kind of look at it like his rookie season, right? So his rookie season, he had a sensational first half.
Mhm.
I think he had a really, really down second half. Last season, he was okay for the first half. He was good. Second half, he really picked it up. So if he has that kind of, if he has that kind of second half, if he has that, I think he has a chance of either tying it, maybe barely breaking it. I don't know. It's one of those things. Like if he stays healthy, I think he has a chance to at least tie it or even barely getting there. But he just, he just needs to stay consistent. That's just all what it comes down to with Judge.
A lot of people have speculated that Yankees will try to rest Judge. I don't think so. If he's anywhere close on pace, it means a lot. The stadium's going to be popping and jumping. He's going to go for it.
It was not
I have
only
no
for the
doubts.
stadium, but I think it's for baseball in general. I think that's where it comes down to. So,
What do you think, Chris? Oh, I already asked you. You already answered. NL MVP Goldschmidt? Or do you guys have someone?
I'd say like right now, mid-season point, Goldschmidt is the MVP. Depending as to how the rest of the season plays out, it's anybody's guess, really, or whatever. He's known to not have great second halves, so it can actually be his teammate. It could be Nolan Arenado for all we know. It could be Pete Alonso could go on a run and he can tank another 50-something home runs and he can be MVP. I don't know, man. I don't know, but for the midway point right now, I'll go with Paul Goldschmidt.
Yeah, I think if I think if Paul falters in the second half, Pete, if he could put up around 45 home runs, I think he's going to lead the league in RBIs the way he's going. If he could put up around 45 home runs and hit 285, I think the MVP is his.
Josh,
Right now, Goldschmidt, I think if he has a down second half and Pete picks it up, because Pete, like last year, Pete picked it up in the second half. So same thing. If that happens, he probably wins the MVP. But then also because if the Mets make it to the playoffs and they end up being in first, I think that's what's going to help his case as well.
Good point. Good point.
American League Cy Young. At first I was like, oh man, Nestor Cortez is gonna take this, but he slipped off recently. Oh, I do have a picture. Speaking of Nestor Cortez,
Dynasty Nestor.
our very own Josh. Look at that.
Hey,
With Nasty Nestor. Beautiful drawing. And he gave you a baseball. He gave you a signed All-Star baseball too?
Yeah, he gave me a signed All-Star baseball.
Awesome guy.
Yeah, he was great. Really, he was like really humble. There's a lot of people that showed up. I was like, damn, I didn't know it was gonna be like this many people. So it was great. It was a great turnout.
I think it's going to come down to Shane McClanahan from the Rays and Verlander. I am going to
I
go with
think it's gonna be
Shane. Who you guys pick?
I think it's gonna be Verlander.
yeah, I'm going with the safe bet, Justin Verlander.
I think it's gonna be Verlander, and then also what's crazy about with that is he comes back from Tommy John, and he's probably pitching even better than he's ever pitched. But also he's being smarter.
It's got to be
He's
cheating. It's got to be
he's being
cheating
a
somehow.
smarter pitcher. Yep. Yeah.
They're using Morse code now. I heard they're using Morse code.
Morse code.
No, but with Verlander, I mean, he's been actually like he's been pitching smart. He doesn't really rely on he's not throwing 100, 101 that much anymore. I know one of the things that he got better at was same thing with analytics. He was talking about that recently. That he relies on that a little bit more because he said he was pretty stubborn at first. Like he was pretty stubborn on following those kind of like, kind of those things, not understanding it. But once he actually started understanding it, he said that's probably saved his career right now. Because remember, it was a point of time where he struggled and you probably didn't see his best. That was probably like, you probably weren't going to see him very long after that. But then ever since he's gone to Houston, it's like he's been rejuvenated.
He gets to compete for something over there. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. Yep. That's part of it too. Yeah,
that's part. I think that has to do a large part of it. I think a lot of us forget that Justin Verlander is going to be a 39-year-old man at the end of the season. He's not a spring chicken.
Crazy.
It boggles my mind that he's pitching as well as he's pitching at his age right now. From a Cy Young perspective, I don't think anyone's standing out as much as he is right now. From the AL, unless Ohtani goes like on a 49 inning scoreless streak and tanks his ERA from below 2.5. I don't see anybody catching up to Verlander on the AL side.
Yeah, and I think the biggest difference with that too is that that with the Astros being good, they're playing better teams. Mm-hmm. This kind of run that Ohtani has been having, right, or his pitching, right, it's been great. Mm-hmm. But five of the teams are sub 500 teams, so that's a factor as well. A lot of people don't look at that, but that plays a factor as well when it comes to overall performance. But like you said, like with Verlander, I mean, like you said, he's about to be 39, and he's pitching the way that he's pitching. But like I said, he's pitching smart. He's not he's not throwing that hard fastball he used to anymore. And yet he looks this amazing.
Big Mike says Judge hits 61 to 64, but if he gets hot, he can hit 70. Oh, baby. Oh, baby. Can you imagine?
You telling me he's gonna hit 37 home runs in the second half?
Hey,
it's possible.
You never know with Aaron Judge. You never know.
I've seen Stranger Things.
Exactly.
And I ain't talking about.
I also have seen Stranger Things. Good show. Okay. You never know. Some of these teams in the second half, giving up, throwing AAA pitchers out there. You never know. Never know.
Taking advantage, man. He's got a sweet swing from the right side, and he's a big man. So 70s
He's,
pos.
he's gonna have to kill the Red Sox a lot then.
Yeah.
Managers of the year, I gotta think, are the two New York managers, Boone and Buck. Does anyone have any different?
Boone might not get as many votes just because he's been thrown out of games lately.
Do the umpires have votes?
Yeah.
These fucking umpires, they call these low ball strikes to Judge and Stanton. It's like they have different strike zones. Come on.
Well, to be fair, from a professional standpoint, just so you guys are aware, every individual batter does have a different strike zone. It just depends as to how tall that the person is or whatever. So their strike zone might be larger or it might be smaller depending as to how they stand at the plate. So that's just for you guys to understand and how it works. So if Stanton
don't tell me, I'm the umpires.
That's why you see the call.
Tell Angel Rodriguez that.
Yeah, I saw I was on my Instagram account earlier, and there was this account that popped up on my feed, and it's called MLB Auditor, right? And the dude was going over some game that happened in June or whatever the case is, talking about Phil Cuzzy having 29 blown calls throughout the game, and I'm there like, let me call up my boss and see what the fuck I'm talking about here, because this shit is crazy. And I saw the discrepancies, and I was like, oh, okay, all right, so this was a bad game. You know what I'm saying? It boils to comparison, but all in all, I think that even with how the strike zones are working for Stanton and Aaron Judge and stuff like that, these guys are having tremendous seasons. Stanton's a little bit under the radar. Am I wrong for saying that? I feel like he's having a good season without anybody necessarily pouring, gasoline on the fire.
Yeah, people are usually ready to kill Stanton because he can't stay healthy. But he's been healthy.
Yeah, I mean, what it is with Stanton, I think with Stanton, him being on the field is more important than anything right now. His power, he's really picked up his power a lot. He has 24 home runs. With his bat, he gets very streaky. I'm saying like he gets very hot and cold at times. He gets like that. That's the case with him this year. But yeah, I would say like he's been pretty much under the radar. That at least the New York fans are not wanting to kill him. That's the heat. Gallows has been getting the heat, so I'm fine with that.
But I think Joey Gallo getting the heat that he's getting, it's merited, bro. Like he's out here striking out.
Yeah, no, it is merited, and that's the thing. And that's the thing. The Yankees knew what they were getting. That's the thing. They just didn't know he was going to decline this much. It's just with him, he's just trying to not so much swing at everything. It's just that he swings too hard at times, and you could see it. He seems off balance. I remember they were showing replays of like his swing. He just seems he's just off balance. Like it's crazy. Like I didn't even notice it until like they started like really showing it. I'm like, damn, no wonder this guy can't get hits. There's something that he's doing mechanically that's just not there.
He doesn't have a good perception of the strike zone either. So I feel like that kills him a lot of the time. He doesn't like he does him like bigger guys like him and Stanton and Judge, all them being on the same team. It's like they should be able to help each other out because they're such bigger guys when it comes to the strike zone. But it's like I feel like Gallo is like he's lost out there, bro. He's just very lost. And like sometimes when I see him swing and how further above the ball he is when he swings, it's like where did you see the ball go, bro? Like how?
That's exactly it too. Yeah, they were showing that. I was like, what the hell? I mean, it's crazy. Like, I mean, that's only been the down. At least the Yankees have been playing well. That it hasn't been like this big thing. Yeah. Like the Yankees were struggling, and he was playing like this. Then it would be such a bigger issue. But it is what it is at this point.
So do you guys have anyone different? Manager of the year, Boone and Buck.
Not me.
Buck has been great for the Mets. Yeah. He has been great for the Mets.
He's what they needed on the team.
years
I-
ago. They needed him
Yeah,
years
we
ago.
needed that years ago.
Yeah, he's exactly what the Mets needed. He's a guy who he's very disciplined. He's tough on his guys. That's what they needed. That's one of the things that the Mets were lacking. When they had Rojas, I think for the most part, I think Rojas did okay with the locker room itself, but it's just his decision making was just awful. And then before that, who was it? It was Callaway.
Dickie Callaway, yeah.
Yeah, with him, it was just like what I didn't like, right? When the team is struggling, like it just I don't want to say that he didn't care, but I didn't like this upbeat attitude, like where it's like, okay, your team sucks right now. What are you gonna do? And he was kind of like, oh,
he was focused on other things, pal.
yeah, and I was like,
we don't talk about Mickey in these parts.
but it's like, I'm saying like you see what I mean? Like when it came to that, I think that was the attitude the Mets have been lacking, and I think Showalter has added that, and that's helped the team as well.
Yeah. I definitely agree there.
J News, can you divulge what it is you do, or you'd rather?
I can. Okay. So for all intents and purposes, I work for Major League Baseball. I am a supervisor in the umpire evaluation department. So when it comes to so
guys, the thoughts and opinions of True Hill Romeo reflect only True Hill Romeo, not True Hill Heat Sports, and definitely not J News.
So that's why I don't have anything to say about the umpires. I steer clear of that at the end of the day. I just wanted guys to understand the specifics of how the strike zone gets measured out per player and stuff like that. But yeah, man, it's that's
a sweet gig.
It's a sweet gig, yeah. Even though it only lasts 8 months out of the season, so I have technically 3.5 months off during the year. So I also do. I'm a health and fitness coach outside of that as well, whatever case. So yeah, but that's my main gig at the end of the day. So when I'm late and I'm sending you emails, Romeo, at fucking 12 a.m., I'm still working.
Romeo, I need the code to log in. Romeo, you up? I wanted to touch on most improved player because I feel like you could give that to like about 4 Yankees.
Yeah, that's true though. That's not even.
Listen.
I'm laughing. No, I'm saying that's why I'm laughing.
Listen. Jose Trevino, he's an all-star. He has improved the pitching staff. My God, everyone's delivering. Matt Carpenter, oh my God, I don't know what
the scrap heap, bro. Like Matt Carpenter had nothing left in the tank, nothing. All of a sudden, they put Yankee pinstripes on him, and he's great again.
He was like a dying dog on the road, and they were like, "All right, kid, we're gonna put pinstripes on you and shave your beard and leave your."
Let me tell you his stats real quick. He's batting .360 in 30 games, 13 home runs, 31 RBIs, and a slugging of .933 and OPS of 1.406.
And to add to that, some of those runs were from last night, and 2 of those home runs were from last night. So
6 RBIs.
Is he playing in the field, or is he just DHing?
They've been putting him on the field a little bit. He's a Gallo's replacement. Get Gallo out of there.
Yeah, he's been playing. Yeah. He's been playing right field a lot more. He's been playing right field. Honestly, man, it's been a fun story to see that because, like you said, he was
the stash.
I
think playoff time. I'm just gonna throw the mustache out.
The last 3 seasons he was struggling, and it wasn't like he was a bum. He was great with the Cardinals.
Yeah.
He was really great with the Cardinals. It's just, some players, they come to that age where, when they decline, some decline faster than others. And that's where it was looking like for him.
Nah, John, that Cardinal Red doesn't do anybody any justice, kid.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. And then he worked on his swing. He changed his mechanics. He worked on his swing, and now he's been
a beautiful lefty swing in Yankee Stadium. And speaking of mustaches, another guy you could consider for most improved, Nestor Cortez. Amazing. Also an all-star. And also an all-star you consider for most improved, Clay Holmes, who's the closer now. Took Chapman's job. He's been
Yeah,
he's
with-
been Go ahead, Josh.
No, I'm saying like with Cortez too. With Cortez, we kind of saw it last year. He actually did very well with the Yankees last year. So, for him to have like the starting gig, like full time, not he's been really he's been great as well.
Armand says Pervy Callaway, glad he is gone.
Yo, man,
Perfect
that
color.
that was. Yeah, when you read stories in the newspaper half the time, and you're like, "Is this real? Can this really be happening in the background? Like this is being allowed?"
Yeah.
Like big props to Uncle Stevie for gutting that whole entire front office because we don't need that type of freaking drama.
Well, yeah. Wasn't it wasn't like the GM that he hired too? Like he fell into some shit and then he got like fired. Like
Yes,
pretty much.
yeah.
He got it. He had a
Yeah, some
DUI.
text messages.
Oh, that
Some
was
text
that
messages
one.
too.
Yeah,
Oh
the
shit.
guy, he only
that's
lasted
right.
like about a month or whatever the case is. That dude.
And he
Oh
didn't
my-
got fired.
he
Like,
didn't-
oh,
yeah,
fuck this. Like,
Because then
like,
his
oh, no.
his replacement fucking ended up getting caught with a DUI like after the holiday party or
Oh,
some
yeah.
shit last year. So
Grand
that's
opening,
why-
grand
I
closing.
was like, oh,
that's
man.
why they got Billy
They-
Epper.
It was like, oh no, the same old Mets. Like that's how it felt like.
It did feel like that, bro. I was sitting there and I was like, how we have the same vibe but a new owner? Clean this up. Clean this up.
J News, you mentioned Uncle Stevie, and that brings us into one of our last two topics. Juan Soto, who turned down, I believe it was a 15-year, $440 million offer from the Washington Nationals. And if you see what that's worth annually, it's about $29 million per year.
Mhm.
15 years is a long time.
It's a long time.
I don't blame him. It takes some balls. It takes some cojones. It takes some major balls to say 440 million. I like my chances getting a little bit more than that. But I admire that. I respect that. He's also betting on himself like Aaron Judge. The difference is Aaron Judge is a free agent coming at the end of this year, and Soto still has arbitration to come. He's not an unrestricted free agent until I think about 2 more seasons.
2025,
So
if I'm not mistaken.
the Nationals will explore a trade, and from all reports, the Mets and the Yankees have both looked into it. I personally will find it hard to believe. I know the Mets have really good prospects, but I find it hard to believe that the Nationals would trade him in division.
So
Is the thing.
So I'll tell you this, right? I think I caught this off of one of the John Boy media sites on YouTube and stuff like that. They came up with a very interesting dynamic for a deal, right? So Steven Strasburg has been hurt for mad years now, right? But the Washington Nationals are paying him and whatnot, so he's a bad contract on there. And I think another player has like a bad contract on the Nationals. So he's basically put it in the sense of the Mets take those 2 bad contracts along with some young players to send to the Washington Nationals, take on that money because Uncle Stevie could take on the money and get Soto to the Mets, and then the Mets would somehow, extend.
Holy shit! Look at this contract.
Yeah.
35 million per, all the way to 2026.
Yeah, and
2027.
Patrick Corbin. There you go. And the other pitcher, Patrick Corbin. So Patrick Corbin hasn't been living up to the hype at the end of the day, and Steven Strasburg hasn't been living up to the hype. What was thank you, Armand. Yeah, Patrick Corbin. He's got the other bad contract, so it would behoove the Mets to take on the money, alleviate the Washington Nationals of some money because they can afford to.
That is a lot of money. Oh my god!
Send them some bottom tier prospects instead of some top tier prospects, and then at the end of it all, extend Juan Soto to a deal. I don't know what the deal would be for Juan Soto. Maybe 8.
No, I'm saying so. Pretty much, it'll be similar to like what the Dodgers did with the Red Sox.
Mhm.
Like they
Correct.
took a bunch of contracts. So they took Beckett's contract. It was Crawford's contract. Get certain pieces for their team. So it'll be kind of the same way. It's
Yes,
just
but
a
not in
matter
the
of-
same division. That's the difference.
Yeah, exactly. That's all. That's the only thing that would be a little bit different that within the division. I don't know. They want to do that. That's the thing. I mean,
I'll tell you what, Steve Cohen.
That's a smart.
He's
That's
gonna.
a smart pick, though. That's a smart play, though. to take those back.
Steve
Hey,
Cohen.
you want Juan Soto? You gotta take these 2 bad contracts.
Yeah.
That's
And he was-
Steve Cohen, man, he gonna
they're
make
one of
he
the
gonna make
things that
MLB.
How many zeros? It's
He
okay.
gonna make MLB be
It's
like,
okay.
all right, we need a salary cap now. Fuck the
Yeah,
luxury
but
tax.
that was
Salary cap.
part
Here
of
we go.
that was part of the whole one of the hiccups during the off season and whatnot. He was the one where it was like, yeah, I don't care about paying the luxury tax. Like, you guys need to start spending money with your teams. Like, this is what you've been owners for 30 plus years and you don't spend money on these teams. Like, what are we doing? How are we growing the game? You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So it's like Stevie Cohen's one of the newfound owners who's got all this damn money, and he's like, spend the money. So it's like he doesn't mind it.
Armand says many teams could trade for Soto, but few can pay him. Dodgers, Mets, Yankees, Boston, Giants, and that's a great point.
And honestly, I don't even think Boston, just because Boston has known to be, with their kind of deals, it's a little weird. Like, that's the reason why they didn't even sign Betts. They had their chance, and they end up trading him because of that. So I don't know if they would even.
But sign Trevor
entertain
Story.
Exactly. They signed Trevor Story to a ridiculous contract, at least for the kind of player that he is. Well, Boston, they tend to do that. Like, and then this, I think they have 2 potential free agents. I think this offseason they're gonna have Bogarts and I think Devers is gonna be a free agent. So, and they've been like their 2 best players. So
Absolutely.
who knows?
Yeah.
Let me look up Devers real quick.
It's tough.
Devers is in arbitration this year,
Yes.
unrestricted in 2024.
He has a year left. Yeah, that's what I figured. Yeah, I mean, look, from a Yankee standpoint, even speaking from a Yankee standpoint, when it comes to Juan Soto, right? The Yankees aren't going to be willing to take on the money, so they're going to have to give up, the alien. They're going to have to give up Jason Dominguez and Volpe and guys like that in order to acquire a Juan Soto. I'm not sure that Cashman's going to want to do that, to be honest. So, even it being Juan Soto, I'm not sure he's going to want to give up the prospects in order to get him back.
Agreed. I find the Yankees being interested a little mind blowing because they were so hesitant to pay Judge.
Right.
They're very, very stingy about the luxury tax, Josh. You know that.
Yeah, like I tell people,
Hal is not his father.
No. Yeah, exactly. That's a problem with a lot of Yankee fans these days. They kind of fall too much on the whole George Steinbrenner thing. People got to realize that Steinbrenner was like Cohen. He didn't care about spending. The difference is that Hal and the family, they take the Yankees like a business, so they're not going to overspend. And that's just the reality people gotta accept at this point.
So last thing, when do you think a Soto trade takes place? And do you think you can even predict what team he goes to? Anybody?
I don't think it happens this year.
I think it happens in the off season.
I think in the offseason, I think it's more realistic. I don't think it happens now just because there's too many moving parts of everything. So I think a lot of teams just have, they have to figure out, they have to reevaluate or what they're doing. I think that makes more sense during the off season. But,
right,
at this point, the
that's
Nats
a lot
have to
of
do
talent
something.
to trade.
Yeah. The Nats have to do something because it's been obvious he don't want to stay there. He's been offered 3 or 4 different deals. He's turned down all of them. He does not want to stay there. I think that's clear at this point.
I would be a little different than everybody else. I think this happens before the trading deadline.
Baby.
It's very reminiscent to what's happening in the NBA now with Donovan Mitchell, in my estimation, from a principal standpoint, where the organization has now put it out there, hey, we're going to trade this guy. It's like you can't have a guy on your team that you just put out on the trading block. He can't stay there. You have to trade him now or whatever. And if you keep him there, it's just going to create calamity in the freaking locker room. He's you don't necessarily know what his emotional state's going to be from one week to the next because he's going to be continuously in the news. I feel like this happens before the trading deadline. Where he goes, though, Romeo, I don't know. To be honest, I don't know.
If he gets traded this season, that throws a huge monkey wrench into anything like playoff wise because he is going to improve some team tenfold.
because I think at the end of the day, what we need to notice is that the Nationals are going to want a lot of young players back, right? Even
You don't
if
want
you
prospects.
deviate them from a money standpoint,
A
they're
king's ransom.
yeah, they want like I said, it's the equivalent of the Donovan Mitchell thing. They want the young players back. So I think from a team standpoint, from a prospect standpoint, the Dodgers are always gonna be looking to upgrade that team. Their farm system has been deep for 40 years, and that's not even a game. The Dodgers system has been deep that long.
I
They
I
have one of the
can't
best
take him
farm
going to the
systems.
Dodgers, bro.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
can't
I'm
take
saying,
that
I
all-star team over there. Mookie Betts,
yeah,
Freeman,
but they're
Turner. I
realistic.
can't
That's
take
a
it.
realistic option though, because
I can't
and
take
they've done that
that.
well. The Dodgers, they trade their prospect and they find new talent. They always
Yeah,
do it.
they always do it, man. They always do it.
Yo.
Look who's the new evil empire now. The new evil empire is the
It's
Dodgers,
the Dodgers, yeah, for sure. The Dodgers are the new
not the
evil empire.
Yankees.
Forget the Yankees. I think that
Yeah.
the only other team that has like a shot at getting Soto with their farm system would be the St. Louis Cardinals. But outside of that, I don't see
There's
any
not
other.
many teams. Yeah, there's not many
Yeah,
teams that could
there's not many other teams.
that have a strong farm system that could
Yeah.
get them.
Armand said if he gets traded by the deadline, it'll be Mets or Dodgers. And the Astros could be a sleeper team. Oh, that'd be a punch to my balls if that happened.
I kind of don't see that either, just because of again the money aspect. They didn't want to re-sign Correa, so I don't see them spending that much.
Yeah,
on
because
Soto.
whoever acquires Juan Soto, it's not going to be a one and done thing. That team's going to have to pony up and whatnot.
Yeah, exactly.
That's going to have to be part of it. So
Exactly, because you're not going to give that much up just so
Right.
have him for 2-3 seasons. That's not
Yeah.
going to happen. So this is going to be a move that not only the team, they trade for him, but they're going to try to lock him up. So I think that's what's going to happen.
All right, final notes here. The MLB draft was today. The number one pick was incredible history making, the first ever female. Jackson Holiday went to the Baltimore Orioles.
bro, yeah.
Round one, pick one.
Oh man.
Number two.
Hurry up. You got to
to
read
number
this
three.
quick. Where's that disclaimer?
Number two.
Yo.
Oh, by the way, Jackson Holiday, by the way, the son of Matt Holiday,
yes.
and the first ever time in the MLB draft that the first two picks are sons of MLB players. Andrew Jones's son, simply a simpler name, Drew Jones. Pick number two. He went to Arizona. And number three will be a name Mets fans will be familiar with.
Mhm.
Kumar Rocker, who the Mets could not negotiate a deal with when they drafted him last year. He went to the Texas Rangers, who are investing in pitching. He's reunited with his Vanderbilt teammates, his college teammate, Jack Leiter, the son of Al Leiter. A lot of sons of athlete fathers in this MLB draft. Also, Justin Crawford was taken 17th to the Phillies. He is the son of Carl Crawford. You may remember him.
Does he have the same speed? Does he have the same speed?
He better.
Yeah, better.
So yeah, that is the MLB draft today. The MLB draft, probably the least interesting draft because of how long it takes for these players to go through the pipeline. You don't see them till years
Yeah,
later,
not only that,
if you
but-
even see them.
Yeah, not only that, but their draft system is a little weird just because, like you said, if a player doesn't come to an agreement to a contract, they
go back.
they don't end up on the team.
Yeah, it's weird because I felt like last year with the whole Kumar Rocker thing, right? When he got picked 10th, I was like, why didn't the Mets do what the Dodgers did with Walker Buehler? Because the Dodgers drafted Walker Buehler, and Walker Buehler had to have Tommy John surgery the year he got drafted. And I was like, sign the dude, have him have the whatever surgery he needed, and just have him in the minors for a while or whatever. And then they just
Stash him.
Yeah, stash him, and they let him walk, and now he got picked 3rd instead of 10th. And I'm like, so he upped his value?
And they said his workouts were really good. He
Yeah.
looked really good in his workouts. And he's
I'm-
getting up to 97, 98. So
And the Rangers pair him with his boy.
Yeah, man. I
Lighter.
think we lost out on that, though, Chris. I think we lost out on that one.
yeah, I agree.
But you also got your pick back. You got to pick
Yes.
I think 10th again this year.
We got
Um,
the 11th and the 14th or something like that.
Yeah.
We had two. We had two of the top 15 picks at least.
Mhm.
We got a catcher, I believe, and a shortstop.
Yeah, the
Yes.
catcher from Georgia Tech,
Yeah.
Parada,
Yeah.
and a high school shortstop at 14. Yeah.
His name is Jet, Chris. I don't know if you knew. So I don't know if that's a bad omen or I don't know what.
I guess we'll find out in a few years.
So, all right, I think that'll do it for our first MLB video here on the True Heel Heat Sports YouTube channel. I want to thank everyone who joined us here. Yes, here are the names. Thank you, Armand, Kevin Parada, Jet Williams, 2 T's. That's JE, double T.
That's right.
Williams. Please like this video if you haven't already. Subscribe, hit the bell for notifications so you know when we go live. We're going to be dropping a lot of videos, man. MLB videos, NFL, NBA, live watch-alongs. If you don't already know the deal here on True Heel Heat Sports. And speaking of watch-alongs, Tuesday night, MLB All-Star Game. It'll be me and Chris at least. Josh, do you know if you'll be able to join us or no?
Yeah, I'll be on.
Cool. And J News, I think you're busy.
It's not
right?
NXT,
Yeah.
so I'll join.
No, brother, I'm off this week.
Oh, okay. You want to join us?
Yeah, I'll join.
All right, cool. Awesome.
I'm off this
So all
week.
4 of us will be here for the watch along, and whoever else may want to join us Tuesday night. I believe the start time is 7 p.m.
It is
Wow.
7 p.m., sir.
All right then. All right. They want the kids to watch. Good job. You can follow me, True Heel Romeo, on Twitter and Instagram. Over on the True Heel Heat Wrestling YouTube channel, if you're into wrestling, plenty of watch alongs Mondays, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, not this Tuesday. Yeah, check us out over there as well as here. We will do a UFC watch along on Saturday. That's a 3 p.m. Eastern start. Join us for that here on the sports channel. And me and Stat King will try to drop a NFL video as well. Chris G, where can everyone find you?
You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at True Heel Chris G, and of course on the True Heel Heat Wrestling channel every Tuesday, most Thursdays, watch alongs, NXT, Blunt Impact, all that good stuff. And of course here now on the True Heel Heat Sports channel, baseball, football, basketball. I would love to get on that football stream with you and Stacking. We'll see if we can make it work. And UFC watch alongs. Hopefully I'll get on sooner or later. Maybe a boxing watch along. I don't know. We'll see what we can do somewhere down the line.
Guys, this is our highest viewership of the night. You guys are really late. So just go back and watch this from the beginning, I guess. We appreciate you guys for tuning in. J News, where can everyone find you?
You can find me on the Instagram. That's at _JONJY. I also am here on the True Heel Heat channel at times when allowed due to New Japan Pro Wrestling politics. Via the YouTube, always on the Patreon. If I don't know when it's going up, Romeo, but I did the review for night 1 of
Yes.
the G1. I'm doing the review for night 2 tomorrow, and then every night after that. So that'll be on the Patreon going up. But outside of that, I'm here, True Heel Heat Sports, talking the baseball. Hopefully, somewhere down the line, I'm putting this into the space. When Tank Davis faces off with Ryan Garcia, I want to be part of that.
Watch along, baby, for sure.
All
Hell
right.
yeah.
All right. Josh?
You can find me JMPunk321, Twitter and Instagram. Every Monday night, Radio Raw Superstars for Monday Night Raw. Wednesday night, Elite Heat for Dynamite watch-alongs. And then every weekend on the Twitch channel doing Rampage wrap-up, doing Rampage reviews with Stat King.
All right, cool. So thank you everyone again for joining us here. Please like this video if you haven't already. Subscribe for Chris G. Josh. All right, Romeo. Thank you so much for joining us here. True Heel Heat Sports number 5, MLB mid-season recap. We will see you Tuesday for the All-Star Game.